Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to one and all. And we from Number Bengaluru Foundation would like to bring in the series. And we have a very familiar face with us today, Ms. Smita Kulkarni. And warm welcome to you, Smita.
Thank you, Vinod.
Yes, and this is in our Protect Number Bengaluru series, wherein we want to, the topic of the day is reducing waste footprint. And we can only find the one and only great ambassador that we have today who's been working on this in terms of how to make our homes, our offices, as well as major campuses and other areas waste-free and litter-free, and also to make Number Bengaluru a beautiful garden city back again. I would like to introduce Ms. Smita. Smita Kulkarni is a techie turned environmental activist turned entrepreneur. So I think that's a lot of options that she's juggled. Yeah. So she's been instrumental to get the plastic ban, and she's been working with all the civic and parastatal agencies in Bangalore. She's been particularly passionate about spreading the word on sustainable menstruation and has spoken about it on several platforms like CII, TEDx, radio, podcasts, seminars, and several other forums. Smita is the co-founder of Stone Soup, which is a social enterprise offering sustainable alternatives. She has been an awardee of Number Bengaluru and as a Number Bengaluru social entrepreneur for the year 2020. And today's topic, as we all know, is reducing waste and how we can, live our life with reducing waste and having a zero waste footprint. Waste is an urban issue, as we all know. With all the money and resources poured into Swachh Bharat, it won't do us much good if citizens don't get involved. I think citizen participation is the key for all the programs that we do. If we look closely at the waste and take responsibility, we can become zero waste cities. I think that's an ideal situation, but even if we can get closer to it, there is nothing like it. With simple changes in lifestyle, we can significantly reduce the burden on our environment and in turn do a good thing for our health as well. Today we will talk on the detail on home composting, zero waste events and sustainable menstrual choices. So without much ado, I would like to welcome Smita to this Protect Number Bengaluru series, and we will have Smita talking to us and sharing her views, and soon after that we can keep this open for dialogue and your questions. Please, of course, you can ask your questions directly, or you can also type it in the chat box, and we will, after her presentation, we'll have the Q&A session on. Thank you. Welcome, Smita.
Thank you, Vinod. A warm welcome to everyone here today, and thank you for giving me your time and allowing me to, express a few things that I have learned in my waste journey so far. I'll share a short presentation. It is just a way to lead the discussion. Otherwise, we can keep talking about waste forever, and it will not lead into any actionable items. So, zero waste home, like how Vinod mentioned, it seems like a very ideal situation. It seems like, even if there is so much corruption, even if there is no destination, if we don't send out waste from our homes, our city will remain clean. And it looks like a very far away dream, but it's not. It's very, very doable. And I'm going to take you through a few very simple steps that we can take to reduce it to near zero, if not complete zero. So all of us know the waste problem, with the ring road, outer ring road, nicer road. Bangalore has been growing, exploding. And, along with the population and along with the commercialization and everything, what has really exploded is the amount of waste we've been generating. And earlier it was not visible to us because it was going to some landfill and it was out of our sight. And now, since a lot of landfills around the city have closed down, we have mini landfills within our city now, under the flyovers, in the empty sites, on the roadside dumps, and everywhere we can see visually, some of these things. Some of these things have been covered by some green screens and other places, but they exist. We can feel them, we can smell them, we can see them. And if we just, all these villagers are suffering, our children are suffering, the groundwater is supposed to be polluted. And of course, when it's burnt, there's a lot of breathing related issues that is, being generated along with the vehicular pollution. Garbage pollution is also contributing to that. But whose waste is it? We can say that BBMP is not doing this, that one government is not doing that. But at the end of the day, it's our waste, something that we are giving out of our house. And what is so toxic in our waste? If you just take a deeper look at our, waste, about 60% of our waste is kitchen waste. 35% of our waste is dry waste, which is basically paper, plastic, cardboard, all the little bit of cloth, the old shoes, and all of these items. And 5% of our waste is what we call as reject waste, which is basically sanitary pads, diapers, and nowadays disposable masks, some infected tissues and things like that. And people with diabetes and all, some syringes and other things. This 5% waste is actually true waste, and which that should go to the landfill. The remaining 60% is compostable waste, which can be composted, and the other 35% is recyclable waste, which can be recycled and value can be derived out of it. So the simple step of segregation, we thought will solve the problem. That if people segregate, give the wet waste clean, and we'll send it to composting and biogas facilities. The recyclable waste or dry waste can go to dry waste collection centers. There are about more than 150 dry waste centers across Bangalore. They will sort out and make sure it reaches the right destination. And only 5% waste is what we can send it to the landfill. But what is happening is the amount of waste generated is so huge. 6,000, 7,000 tons of waste every single day. So even if people segregate 100%, even if there's no corruption, the amount of waste reaching the authorities is so huge that they won't be able to manage on their own unless we contribute on our end. And how can we do that? So SWMRT ran a simple campaign called as Swachhagraha, which means that, in the 1960s, 70s, when Indo-Pak war was going on and, Shastriji was the prime minister, there was a huge food shortage in India. So he called on every Indian to do something called as Shastri Vrat. So, of course, the farmers have to grow more food or, all that stuff. But if I'm not farming, I'm just, either a housewife or I'm a teacher or I'm a, clerk or I'm going to the office. How can I contribute? I cannot become a farmer. So Shastri Vrat asked every Indian to give up one meal in a week. If you just give up one meal every week, the amount of food required will come down and the farmers will be able to meet the demand. So we stole that idea, and what we are saying in Swachhagraha nowadays is our problem is not food scarcity, our problem is waste. So if every household in Bangalore just holds on to 1 week's waste with themselves, remaining 3 weeks you give to BBMP, just 1 week's waste you hold on to yourself, then the amount of waste reaching authorities will come down and they'll be able to beat it. They'll be able to deal with it. Now, how can every Bangalorean hold on to 1 week's waste with themselves? Whether dry waste, the Ashirwad packet and the Amazon boxes, you can hold on to that for 1 week. There's no issue there. It doesn't stink. It's the wet waste which stinks. It's your kitchen waste. If you keep for more than 1 day, it starts attracting flies and it starts stinking. You can't keep it yourself for 1 week. So a simple way is to compost it in-house. All you need is a container like this. All you have to do is drill holes in them. So basically it's an aerated bin. There are holes on the lid as well as there are holes on all over the bin. It's like a paint bucket with holes. You need a compost maker block. You make powder with it. Layer the bin, 1 layer powder, 1 layer kitchen waste, 1 layer powder, 1 layer kitchen waste. This will take 1 week's waste. After 1 week, this will get filled. You keep it aside in your balcony, in your utility area, or wherever you've got some covered space. And those 3 weeks you give to the BBMP. At the end of 3 weeks, this would have composted. You can use it to grow your own veggies, or you can use it for the next cycle of composting. You can donate to the neighbor's garden if you don't have a garden. And even if you don't have any use for the compost, you can dump the compost on the roadside tree. If you dump garbage, people will have a problem. If you dump compost, nobody is going to ask you. In fact, you're going to recharge the soil. So, 60% of your waste can be dealt with by this simple step. As you can see, it's just the powder, one layer powder, one layer kitchen waste, one layer powder, one layer kitchen waste in any aerated bin. Of course, we have, since we put all our waste in it, we have bigger bins, or you have multiple bins. So when one fills up, you fill the other one. By the time this is filling up, this would have composted, and we keep switching between them. And you can grow your own vegetables. Nowadays, we see lots of WhatsApp forwards with unhealthy greens grown next to the gutter, and the water put is very contaminated. There's a lot of pesticide put, and so on and so forth. You can grow some basic herbs yourself. Palak, tomato, chilies. These are the easiest and simplest to grow. I'm not a farmer. I don't have a green thumb. Every environment day I used to buy some saplings and kill them in 2-3 months time. But if I can compost, I think everyone can compost. So, that's the thing that we keep telling, that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have an interest in it, or you don't have to take a lot of time off from your busy schedule or anything like that. Instead of adding just the waste in the bin, you just add some compost maker powder to it. That's the only additional step required. Then the 5% of the waste, which is basically the reject waste, has beautiful reusable alternatives. So disposable pads, a woman uses 6,000, 7,000 pads in her lifetime. And nowadays, the diapers, it's not only increasing in the number of diapers used, also the weight, because it's not just 6 months or 10 months. It's now the duration for which kids are using diapers has increased drastically. And yes, these are, biohazardous waste. And, even though it's just 5%, you would think that why would you focus energy on this 5%? If this 5% gets mixed in the remaining 95%, all of it becomes biomedical waste. So, which is why, there are simple and beautiful options available. A menstrual cup lasts for 10 years. So, a woman uses just 3 menstrual cups, which is 75 grams of waste, as compared to the 6,000 pads that she would use, which would last for 500 years. Indira Gandhi's pads are still here. It's not been 500 years since the pads were invented. So every single pad or diaper ever manufactured on earth is still on earth. And they are beautiful, so basically your bathroom bin should be replaced with a wash basket, a laundry basket, where you can put, no need for tissues, use hankies and towels. No need for disposable masks, use washable masks and put it in the laundry bin. It has to get washed and reused. So cloth pads are there. So instead of disposable pads, your children, your daughters can use cloth pads. Babies can use cloth diapers, so everything gets washed. So replace your bathroom bin with your laundry basket. So the 5% is also taken care. Now remains this 35%. And though it's 35%, I'm sure all of you have seen your dry waste bins. They look much huge because, the volume of dry waste is really big. Every Kellogg's dabba, every, pizza box, they are like huge in volume, even though the weight is fairly lower. So though it looks like 35% is very less, if any of you have been through the quarantine method and you have stacked onto your dry waste for, 2-3 weeks, you would know that, it's so huge, it's so much. And this 35%, I was saying that it goes to the dry waste centers, it gets recycled. Then why reduce? If it gets recycled, if it is, anyway, there is a purpose to it. And, in fact, some people will buy dry waste from you, every Tetra Pak has a value attached to it. Every Harpic bottle has a value attached to it. Every beer bottle, beer cans, and all of these have value attached to it. So people will pay you to take it. Then why reduce? So 2 main reasons. One is, plastic is a chief contributor of mixed waste. If you just throw a banana peel on the road, some goat or cow will eat it, or it will get converted to compost in a matter of 1 week. But if you put that banana peel in a plastic cover and tie it and throw it, it will start rotting, it will start stinking, and that's what is the main cause of the problem. The main reason why plastic ban and everything has come into place is because it's the chief pain point in waste management. It causes, a bit of plastic in any waste makes it mixed waste. And second thing is, not all kinds of plastic can be recycled. Specifically this kurkure packets, these multi-layered, it's called. 8 layer plastic, 1 layer aluminum foil, 1 layer paper, and so many different kinds of layers to keep it fresh. And that makes it completely non-recyclable. And in any black spot, you will see that. You will not see any Nandini milk cover. You will not see, any Tetra Pak in these black spots. You'll specifically see sachets and these chips packets or biscuit packets. So they're not only bad for the environment, they're also extremely bad for the health. When you see cows on the road eating plastic and their stomach is swollen, not because it's pregnant or anything, it's because of the plastic that is blocking its digestive system. That's why the stomach goes on, swelling. And you feel, ayo papa, you feel, so sad that the cow is, having 50, 60 kgs of plastic in it and all that. Then how can you do it to yourself? How can you have hot things in plastic when the plastic, the plastic gets mixed into that hot beverage and you're ingesting it? However beautiful that Starbucks paper cup might look, however beautiful, any of these plastic durables, like you can see these combo meals coming in very pretty partitioned things. And how can parents feed these sweet corn and all to their children? How are they giving plastic to their children? Any tea, coffee, soup, anything hot we have in plastic, we are ingesting part of it into our body. So, how much ever, Hajmola, whatever you take, that plastic will not get digested. It will remain forever into your body. So how can you do this to yourself? Waste is a secondary problem. Health is a primary reason now. Earlier in Bangalore, there used to be only Kidwai and HCG, only 2 cancer centers. Now, every hospital, big or small, has an oncology department. They have specialists, for different therapies, for consultation. There are LIC policies for cancer now. So why are we accepting it as a norm, right? I mean, how can cancer become normal? How can we normalize it? So, if we see, plastic is there in everything around us, our tags are plastic. There are so many plastic components in our mobiles, laptops, doorbells, switches. So many things have plastic components in them. So will we start breaking all our PVC pipes and making metal pipes? No. So what, according to us, there are only 2 kinds of products in the whole wide world. One is disposables, you use for a few times and you throw it. And another is reusables, which you can keep using again and again and again and again and again. So anything reusable, even if it is plastic, is good. You have these plastic chairs for events. You don't throw them after sitting on it once. You use it again and again. And imagine the number of trees we don't have to cut down, to have so many chairs, right? And they're lightweight. So plastic is an amazing material. It's lightweight, it's cheap, it's water resistant, but it lasts forever. So it should be used in scenarios where it should last forever. So the laptop components and all are absolutely fine because it makes everything lightweight. Our aeroplane is lightweight and is able to fly because it has so many plastic components in them. So it has to be used in scenarios where it can be used again and again and again. So anything reusable, even if it has plastic, is fine. And anything disposable, even if it's eco-friendly, should be avoided. Because at the end of the day, it's piling up in the dustbins. Some are less toxic, some are more toxic, but all of it is waste. When we look at waste, we don't see, this waste looks good, this waste looks bad. We don't say that. Waste looks like waste. Waste lies there. Some lies for 5 years, some lie for 500 years. But it lies there. It stinks up our place. It gathers, it's a breeding ground for diseases. United Nations had a campaign to beat plastic pollution a few years back. And what it said is, instead of focusing on too many different things, let us just focus on 4 main things, which are the chief contributor of waste across the world. So they called it the big 4. One was the plastic bag, and an alternative to plastic bag. Now everyone thinks it's paper bag. It's not. It's any reusable bag, whether it's cotton bag, jute bag, anything that is reusable again and again. However beautiful that Louis Philippe bag looks, it won't hold 1 kg tomato also. So you can't use it beyond a single 1 or 2 times. So what good is it, right? So anything reusable is I keep reiterating. So one is the bag in the big 4. The second was the plastic cup or the glass. So an alternative for plastic glass is not paper glass. It's not it's not even that kulhad. People love the clay pot and they think it's eco-friendly. It looks so good. It encourages potters' livelihood, and so many stories are coming up behind that. But basically, it is baked clay. it will not disintegrate on its own. The clay vessels of Harappan era are still there in museum. So it has to be crushed, and there has to be a certain way in that waste has to be dealt with. Who has the patience to do that, to separate all the clay ones and crush them and put it? It's not toxic, but still it's waste. Imagine everybody in this meeting, all of us use clay for 5 days. How much waste will be there? So even if it's non-toxic, it's still, even if it's eco-friendly, it should be avoided. Simple alternative is steel glass, anything reusable, ceramic, and even these Starbucks and all, they have reusable glasses. We just have to insist on it. So second one is the glass. The third, the big four, was the straw, plastic straw. Again, alternative is not bamboo straw or paper straw. It's no straw. Drink your juices directly. If you get a mustache, wipe it off. And most of us living in Bangalore know how to drink tender coconut without a straw. And if you know a friend who doesn't know, teach them. It's a lot of fun that way. And the fourth one is, of course, the plastic water bottle. And simple alternative is, carry your own bottle. And all of you have read those forwards of how these so-called mineral water bottles lying in sun, have full water with pesticide laden, as well as the plastic starts disintegrating into the water itself. So either you carry your own water bottle or you trust the local water. Whatever it is, it will be, if it's good for the locals, it will be good for you also. So the other thing is about the pseudo eco-friendly, right? It's called greenwashing, that it looks green and you want to believe them, but it's not green. So there are plastic bags which say they are biodegradable. There are a lot of forwards which show bags dissolving in a glass of water, and then a person drinking that water to show how safe it is. So we had someone like that, who told us that it's so safe that I'm going to put this bag in this, dissolve it, and he drank it in front of us. So we said, wait a minute, we'll get you one biodegradable bag. You drink that. He said, no, that I don't know. That I'm not going to drink. So it's only his bag that he will drink. Now, how do we know which bag is, truly biodegradable, which is not? So if a bag is truly made from cornstarch, it will not hold 2 kgs tomatoes also. It doesn't have the tensile strength. It has to have some polyethylene in it to have that strength. And even if it's biodegradable, there are certain conditions when they say oxo biodegradable. Some sunlight has to be there, some temperatures have to be there, some aeration has to be there. We can't guarantee any of this in our landfills. So it's better to avoid any of these so-called, they say I am not plastic. And customers used to tell us, it's written it's not plastic. I'm like, I'll write I'm not a murderer. What is there? It doesn't mean it's something is there in print that means it's true, right? Though we are the most intellectual species, we seem to be easily fooled by all this. The other thing is the paper cup. A piece of paper can't even hold, a few drops of water. So if it has to hold ice cream, it has to hold coffee, there has to be a lining of plastic in it. It's the same, eating of plastic that we're doing if we're drinking of paper cup. And it's leading, and there's no destination for paper cup. Nobody wants to take the paper cup. I think Ramakant sir has been working with ITC to get them to take paper cups. That is the only destination right now for paper cup. They are doing it out of CSR activities. They are not getting any money out of it, or it is just like a nice to do thing which they are doing. But otherwise, there is no destination for paper cup. It comes under multi-layer too. And these are the truly eco-friendly, so they are genuinely eco-friendly. There is bamboo spoon, there is edible cutlery. The middle spoons that you see is basically jowar spoon. So when you eat, you can eat the jowar spoon also. And these are areca nut plates, the paper bags, and all of these. They are truly eco-friendly. They don't have any lining of plastic in them, or they're not toxic, but they all add to waste. So all these spoons, when we gave at one event, we saw nobody ate them. Why waste jowar, which can be fed to a hungry country like India, use it to make spoons that can be used for few seconds? You can just eat it with a plain hand, or give steel spoon which can be washed. Right? So all of these are eco-friendly, but ultimately generating waste somewhere or the other. So true alternatives are reusables everywhere. And, thankfully in India, we are a culture where we are comfortable eating with hands. We are comfortable, in borrowing things from our neighbors, and we should just continue doing that. Every time buying, like if I have 20 guests coming, I don't have to buy 20 spoons and 20 plates and all that. I can just borrow from my neighbors. And of course, if I'm hosting a wedding and all that, I don't have to actually find out who will get 1,000 plates. The caterer will know. I mean, traditionally we've been having pretty sustainable events. So it's just about insisting and being hard on the caterer that I don't want, bale yale is okay. I don't want that plastic cup for jamun. You put jamun directly on the yale. So if you can put watery rasam on that leaf and we can lap it up, why have an extra thing for jamun, right? I mean, we are also pretty adjustable, and we need to be. And if someone is really particular about hygiene, they can carry their own glass. If they don't trust the way the people wash glasses and all that, we can just carry our own glass wherever we go. So that's all I had to share today, and I'll be happy to interact more with everyone. And if you have any questions, answers, experiences that you'd like to share, I'd be more than happy to. So I can be reached at smita.kulkarni@stonesoup.in. Feel free to reach out to me if you have anything to share.
Thank you, Smita. That was a very, very interesting session as usual. And I know that we are all, I think you are the best ambassador that we can find in Bangalore for being in the sort of, the team I'm saying, the entire SWMRT team and you. And I think, all of you have been doing a great job, which we are also part of. And from Number Bengaluru Foundation also, that we always, attend, at least in our offices, we have started using never use anything, what do you call, single disposable. And we always see to it that we use reusables only. And as you rightly said, the health hazard. And of course, the other thing is the environment hazard. I think these are two key takeaways, from what you actually presented, wherein we have to be very, very careful on what we can do to the planet and as well as to ourselves. When we say cancer, now we have to be very careful in this world of web and smartphones and whatnot. And, if we start using plastic, as you rightly pointed out, it's going to be the thing. I think we have few people who have raised their hands. I'll unmute. Can we unmute Mr. Narayan Hegde, please? Mr. Hegde, can you come online and switch on the video also?
Good evening, everybody. This is Narayan Hegde. No, I'm okay without video.
No problem, sir. Please go ahead.
All right. No, I have basically a few things which I want to share in this forum, and I would like Nama Bengaluru Foundation to do something if possible. We can join hands with them. Number one is this paper bags. If you go to a supermarket today, they are giving you this, gray color or that cateress color bags actually, and they say put vegetables into this. I simply hate this. And just 3 lady fingers, 2 carrots, people take separate bags, and according to me, this is much more dangerous for the environment than anything else, because papers come from trees and bamboos, and if you are destroying them, actually we are destroying the environment, and then no rain, no water, no life on earth, I can tell you. I would like actually, if anybody can join hands, we would like actually this paper bag to be completely gone out of these supermarkets. In fact, it may be worthwhile to use certain grade plastic which can be recycled and used actually for pavement, rocks and whatnot. But there has to be systematic effort. I don't know how to solve this particular thing, but then I hate this. And whenever I go to supermarket, I still actually sometimes end up, but I say, sorry, I don't want to buy anything here because you are telling me to put this in the brown bag. I don't want to buy anything in the brown bag. No. And whenever I buy some things, when my wife goes, she buys sometimes actually 3 items in one such brown bag, which also they don't like it because they say we want to have, we want to put that sticker, barcode sticker onto this. I know it is possible to have a weight scale near the counter itself, wherein actually you just bring from in the basket and put there, and that can be weighed and poured onto your cloth bag if you are carrying a cloth bag. I have seen this kind of a scale, I would like actually this scale to be promoted rather than brown bags. This is one point which I wanted to say. Second thing is these newspapers. Every day, if you see full page advertisement of XYZ jeweler, XYZ telecom company, XYZ mobile handset maker, and then whatnot. And they are also with actually colors which actually are so dangerous for the environment. I don't know how to actually educate these newspaper people. Of course, they get crores of money out of that particular advertisement. One single page in Times of India, I believe, costs about 15 lakh for a single day's advertisement. I would like actually some step to be taken to contain this. I am not interested in getting papers and the weight of the paper actually increase at the end of the month and then sell it actually at 15 rupees a kilo or something. I'm not happy about it at all. Absolutely no. I would like actually some regulation. I don't know whether there can be a PIL, public interest litigation for this kind of a thing. While they make money, the earth is suffering. While they make sales, the earth is suffering. Newspaper companies are making money, but then people are suffering. I do not know how to handle this particular thing. I would like actually somebody to help me in this particular thing. That is the second thing. The third thing is we are getting milk actually in milk pouches. I remember I used to keep 2 bottles every day outside my house, outside my apartment, 2 bottles. The guy will pick up those 2 empty bottles and he will replace it with actually 2 filled bottles. I don't know why can't we do this particular thing again? Why are we actually getting these plastic pouches? I simply do not like this particular thing. So those are actually my observations. I would like actually some help coming in this particular direction. Thank you.
So very rightly said, sir. We don't need, sometimes you don't need, technological solutions. We just need, some simple process-related solutions available. So rather than, of course, we can go through we worked together across different areas of Bangalore to get the single-use plastic ban in 2016. And it became a regulation notification across Karnataka. What happened, we still see a lot of plastic and paper in and around, but what really the major accomplishment that happened was before 2016, every grocery store used to put their name, delivery, all the branding and information and give bags and bags and bags and bags. What change has brought about is at least now they're not proudly giving it. Whatever plastic is still available, single-use plastic is available, it's available in bits and pockets. Similar thing now, paper bag has taken over, and sometimes it's plain brown paper bag. Many times it's laminated paper bag, especially for meat and stuff like that, or bakery goods and things, which makes it even more difficult. These laminated paper bags are even bigger waste management concern. And like you said about milk packets, so instead of, of course, government regulation and all that will take their own time, but then even after regulation comes, enforcement again, is another challenge. Instead of that, it would be great if startups come in this space and provide simple process solutions. So one simple idea for the advertisements and things like that could be that instead of giving these advertisements in handouts or on newspapers that reach every house, it could be in terms of the grocery bags, giving out, cloth bags with printed advertisements, which can be borrowed. So you pay 10 rupees, you borrow 100 bags, if you want, one for chili, one for onion, whatever you want, with the barcode, everything. Then when you return the bag, you get your 10 rupees back. So the bag is back in circulation. And while the bag is resting in your house for 1 day, 2 day, whatever, there could be advertisements on the bag that can go door to door, whether it is dance class advertisement, whether it is jeweler advertisement, whatever it is. And that sponsorship can pay for the bag. So lot of ideas can come up in the startup space, similarly, instead of Swiggy and all that, where a lot of those plastic containers and all are going day in and day out, which kind of multiplied during COVID. There are many startups now coming up in this space where they're having the borrow a box kind of a scenario, where you can take the box and they will empty the contents in your house and take the box back at a central location, wash them and make it available. So like this, many startups have to come in the space for providing solutions for people like you and me who care and who are willing to pay for it. And then, of course, it will become mainstream.
Thank you, Smita. And thank you, Mr. Narayan. I think that was a real concern. And I know where you're coming from, basically to reduce in terms of the paper as well as, because, these are used from the other environmental hazard that we can see for the planet of cutting trees. I think there's a question from Ms. Shantala.
Hello.
Yeah. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Shantala from Bangalore itself.
Yes.
We've been brought up in Pune. So what I also observed in Bangalore is that there is a lot of garbage. It's more of a garbage city now than a garden city. So I always had a passion for gardening, and I started composting a few years back, and started a terrace garden and home composting with my kitchen waste. So that has also helped my garden and reduced my waste that goes into the garbage vans. That is one thing. And also it has, of course, the importance of living, has the value for which we are living has improved. Also, even being an environmentalist, I have also incorporated that if suppose we want to parcel some food from the hotels, you carry your own steel containers, and you definitely get more content for that also.
Yeah.
And there is no wastage in terms of these containers being disposed. So that is one more thing. And now I have started even doing bioenzymes from fruit peels. That also helps the gardening, and also for cleaning. It helps in the tile cleaning and the kitchen stove cleaning. So in those terms also, we are reducing the chemicals that we use in the houses. That one more thing is now a new project which I have started is creating these eco bricks. Eco bricks now, as Miss Smita was saying, this mostly what adds up to this landfills is this kurkure and chips packets and maybe glitters that they use in the birthday parties. So they are definitely leaving a big footprint, large carbon footprint, or contaminating the soil. So for that, I have started making eco bricks. Now, is there any such location or destination for these eco bricks in Bangalore? Because when I searched through Google, I could not find any proper location. So what I plan to do is make use of these eco bricks to make some sort of sit outs in the gardens, or maybe a small stool, or any such small thing to begin with as a project.
Yeah, thank you, Shantala. Yes, Smita.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not aware about any destinations for EcoBricks either. Probably you could check with the Swachha team. But regarding the other things, since you're already composting, you're making chemical-free cleaners at home. Shantala ji, now it's up to you to inspire at least 10 others. Invite them to your terrace garden. So instead of gifting those show pieces and all, you should gift some brinjals from your garden or some tomatoes from your garden to the next house that you visit. So you inspire more people to join the gang.
Yeah.
Sometimes instead of negative, saying that you are doing something bad, positive reinforcement always works better. So even when we are talking about composting, we usually tell them that you can grow your own greens. You can have, you can have these tender palak, which is like very soft and crunchy and tasty. You could get children involved. Everyone complains my children don't eat vegetables.
Yeah, actually, Smita ji, I have started my own gardening group also. Along with, I am also part of a few other gardening groups too. And the best part is, see, I have vacant litigated sites around my house. So what used to happen is you would dump garbage. Then there would be rodents, rats, and snakes. Every year I used to have snake visitors, at least 3 or 4 snake visitor in my premises near my door. So this used to be a lot of problem. And to actually influence these people, actually in litigated sites, we cannot build any barriers. So, or we cannot do any kind of, setup or anything where we can prevent people from, throwing the garbage or anything. So finally I decided that why not extend our gardening passion to this litigated sites. In this way, the garden, I mean the sites will be clean. People will be aware that to throw garbage in such places, and my problem of snakes and rodents will also reduce. So that's why we have I and my husband have taken up this task from almost 1.5 years. And so we have been able to clear patches and grow vegetables, and because of this we are creating awareness among the people around us, and sharing the produce from these sites also. So
Very nice.
definitely the garden has reduced.
I think, Smita, you already have a warrior. I think a waste warrior, also a gardener. I think that's really good, Shantala ji. In the interest of time, I think you're already there. I think you're part of us. So I'll also, in the interest of time, open this to others. And I think I will just ask Shaista Ansari to unmute herself. You can ask a question, please. Narayan sir, I'll come back to you later after Shaista.
Hi everyone. Uh,
Hi.
I really like the content and like points which you told about that plastic pollution and everything, because I am also spreading awareness about plastic pollution through my Facebook page and other means. So I am also like very much against of plastic pollution. The thing which I feel disappointed about seeing that single-use plastic bags everywhere. Although it is banned in Bangalore, but still I find them in every shop, every thela, even in and around Bangalore, like electronic cities and outer outskirts, especially. I see them everywhere, and every shop I find these very thin micron plastic bags which are not recyclable. Yeah. One concern is that, and even that government has banned these kind of cutlery, which is single-use cutleries, but still I can find it in every nook and corner of Bangalore, which is also not. The ban is there, but implementation is zero. So the main problem is that, and even in my society also, we are segregating, and we are like making compost, bulk compost, and our whole garbage is we make compost with the help of machines. So there is no wet waste going out of the society. It's a very big society. So this kind of initiatives should be there in every society, and it should be compulsory, like to make this kind of manure or this kind of fertilizers with the help of wet waste at least, because otherwise then there will not be any wet waste will be generated, because all will be converted to the manures in the big societies at least.
It is there. There is a BBMP bylaw which says that all bulk generators are defined as either commercial people or resident apartments which have more than 50 households. So all bulk generators need to manage their wet waste in-house. They cannot be sending it out of their community. So this ruling is there. Enforcement still needs some work. Even on plastic ban, it's not that the enforcement is zero. The enforcement is there. But the thing is, every ward, there are 198 wards in Bangalore. Every ward has only one health inspector. So, it's as citizens, what we can do is, one, never buy from that guy who's giving plastic. And second, if we see plastic spoons, cutlery, bags at any vendor's place, ruthlessly we need to report it to the either the BBMP supervisor or best is the health inspector. So we need to work with them. We need to strengthen them, and we need to complain to them if they have anything. And we should not show pity. I feel we see the street vendor. We feel if we take away his plastic, or the health inspector takes away the plastic, he will not have any earning or any. We should not show any such pity, because the moment enforcement is strong, they will get the message faster than any big store. So we have to work with the health inspector to make sure that our area is clean.
Thank you, Smita. I think that's also very crucial that we look at all the users in the same eye. I think we have some couple of questions in the chat box which I'd like to bring it to your notice. One, Kusuma has asked how to dispose of expired medicines, and the second question is how to substitute plastic water bottles being carried by school children. I think which is reusable, right? Those bottles are ones which are actually multi-usable. So these are the two questions that I can find in the chat box. And also about e-waste. So medicines, e-waste, and plastic bottles.
So as of now, what you can do is, medicines you can dispose of in the sealed container itself as reject waste, and unless there's a separate drive by biomedical waste companies, like not, for example, like if you have a hospital near your place, usually they have drives to collect expired medicines from in and around, which will go for incineration. But if there's no such facility, you can put it in a sealed bottle and put it in the reject waste. For the plastic, water bottles or even the Tupperware, right? I mean, this is something which very popular alternative, and I see adults as well as children using these boxes very often. So extremely good from the environment point of view because they're all reusable. But from the health point of view, if you have to take either water or food in plastic containers, reusable thick plastic containers, preferably take cold food. Masrona is okay. Sandwich is okay. Don't take hot bisibele bhat or hot pulao or hot idli in these. And specifically, do not put food in your Tupperware and put it in the microwave and make it warm. Because I see it happening very frequently in offices. Please don't do that. It's the same thing. Plastic will again get mixed with the food. There's no grade of plastic and all that you can look for which is safe. Microwave safe, this safe. It will degrade, it will mix into your food. So if you have to make something warm, use a porcelain dish or a ceramic plate or something like that and make it warm. Don't put plastic in microwave, or don't put any hot food in it at half. Same thing with water bottle. Regular water in plastic is absolutely fine.
About e-waste, Smita, somebody is asking about e-waste.
So if you're not sure of, e-waste, where will it go? Old shoes, where will it go? Scotch Brite, where will it go? Put all of that in your dry waste. What happens is this dry waste goes to a dry waste collection center where it's further secondary segregated into 30 to 40 different categories. Even a single water bottle, it looks like one plastic, but the cap is a different grade, the label is a different grade, the actual bottle is a different grade of plastic, and all that segregation happens there. So as long as it's neat and clean, any dry waste, even mattresses they're accepting now, in all old clothes, you're not sure, you know that it's definitely not compostable, then you put it in your dry waste. It'll be, e-waste also. It'll be secondary segregated there. It'll go to a responsible vendor. But if you have in bulk, if you have any, Enside is one group which is working on e-waste in different areas. So do reach out to Banvel from Enside, ENSYDE, and they'll make sure it's a little more responsible to give it to them, and they'll make sure it goes to e-Parisara.
I think there's a question from Mr. Sanjeevkumar Bhooshet. I think Mr. Sanjeev, you can go ahead with the question, please.
Yes, sir. No. It's not a question like.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
sir?
yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. The people of India are of adventurous nature.
Okay.
Which is easily possible, they will not do. Which is very impossible to everybody, to the entire world, they are very easily getting it done. Because we are observing in this COVID period, should use mask, they did not use it. You see, same thing with the plastic. And I tell you, not only in Bangalore city, around the rural areas also, you can find every local rural people, they'll come to grocery or any shop, they will demand for the plastics. Whatever things, they will demand for the plastics. We have to, make one movement like Abhiyan, what we say, one Abhiyan, we can call for all the NGOs. Like I am from Karnataka Rajya Vidyan Parishad, may be aware of this. We are doing some so many activities which are related to the conservation of biodiversity and e-waste management, solid waste management. These are all things, and even water, rejuvenation. This is all. So what I mean to say is, please, if you can plan something, not only throughout Bangalore city, even throughout the nation, like what Vasudev Jaggi is doing now for the conservation of soil. because these plastics and all, they are all merging into the soil, and obviously that is going to be, we call it as biomagnification. All the wastes and all will be entering into the food chain, and obviously are entering into our body, causing a lot of damage, especially cancer. There are n number of reasons for the cancer in India. Not only India, throughout the world we find many cancer people suffering from cancer. So
Absolutely agree with you, sir. Please drop in your contact details. Let's work together on a campaign on this.
sure ma'am, sure, yeah.
Yeah. And it is definitely like Shaista has mentioned that why doesn't government stop manufacturing? So in the plastic ban notification, if you see, different people have been given different responsibilities. So Pollution Control Board is responsible for closing down manufacturing units. It has closed 75 units. And there is some manufacturing happening, but it's happening in midnight shift. When many places even the power has been disconnected. So similarly, the excise department has been assigned to make sure that it doesn't come from Hosur or from the nearby states. And BBMP has the responsibility to control it at retail level. So if the responsibilities have been assigned, it will be great if we can, like how Sanjeev ji mentioned, if we as citizens can work with the authorities and strengthen them. Because what happens is the traders say that they're not in love with plastic. They are not criminals, right? They don't want to continue breaking laws. They are doing it for the sake of customers. They are not thieves, or they're not like want to break laws or anything like that. They are doing it because customers are demanding it. So right from the awareness, like today's session is specifically around what we as citizens can do, but it has to be attacked on all the sides. And it will be great if we can do a joint campaign working to strengthen the authorities as well. If we stand behind the traders and say that no matter what, you'll not lose business. If you don't give plastic, we are with you. That's all they need to hear, right? I mean, they don't want to lose business at the end of the day. They don't want, they don't want to break laws. They don't want to kill the environment or anything like that. They just don't want to lose business. And if we ensure them that, I'm sure they'll cooperate.
Thank you, Smita, and thank you, Sanjeev, for bringing out that beautiful. And also, in the future, maybe we could partner with some of these campaigns. We welcome you to, suggest your ideas and suggestions to us, so that we can take this up with Stone Soup and work together. And I think Mr. Narayan has another question. Can we take a couple of questions, Smita? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Mr. Narayan, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
unmuted, please.
No, I just wanted to tell two things. One is there are chat box, there are some questions, and I think you took all of them. Actually, it's good. I just wanted to point out, and you can take my question in the end if time permits. That is one. Second thing is, during this COVID, BBMP had a special force actually to collect these PPE kits and the masks and the waste actually coming from the patients who suffered actually COVID, and it continues as such, and people should make use of it. I mean, maybe people are not aware of it. I think we need to actually say that yes, there is a thing that is happening by BBMP. We should use them, and BBMP is responsible to do this, and they are taking care of it. Number one. Number two, we had actually in our near our place, we had actually some of these so-called ready-made garments manufacturing companies. We took some of the BBMP officials there, and you might see, if a shirt actually is, a ready-made shirt is packed, inside actually there is so much of plastic in it. Inside there is a cardboard. Inside there is a collar, thing, and the buttons actually are held with some plastic and whatnot. When we took this BBMP guy, it was amazing actually. He ransacked all of them. He said, no, you cannot use any of these things. If you want, wrap all these things actually in paper and give. Of course, it's not that actually. He reduced definitely the issue with the environment. I think it is a question of actually bringing to the notice of some of the officials, and as citizens, if you can do that, I tell you, the earth will be a much better place. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
And that's what actually Bangalore is so beautiful at. The kind of citizen participation that is there in Bangalore, I've not seen it in any other city, and that's what makes it so beautiful and so alive. We all take charge and are working with the authorities and making things happen. Every one of us is trying our level. It's not about you're migrant, you're from here, you're from there, or anything like that. We all feel this is our city, and we all feel that this is something that we have to work together. And all of us from all different, we have our regular day jobs, and yet we are doing this. So that's amazing about Bangalore.
Yes. And I think to add from where Ms. Smita and Mr. Narayan left, I think the BBMP have marshals now, which is another good team that is working. And most of them are ex-servicemen. And we have actually worked with them in the Mask Up campaign, Smita, wherein, we took up this campaign and the entire team is working very closely with the public so that, wherever you find single-use plastic and these sort of saying, they're actually penalizing. There's a penalty that is involved. And I think slowly the change is happening. And as we can see,
doing an amazing job. It was a great idea to work with ex-army people. It's like
exactly.
amazing result.
Yeah, I think so. I think we are also come to the end of the session. Anybody else? Do you have any questions? Or also we are sharing our email IDs. Both actually Smita has also shared her ID and also the NBF ID. You can always connect with us on the mail with your suggestions, and then we can take this forward. Anybody else has any questions? I don't see anything in the chat box. Okay. I think there's one thing asking about manufacturing units, how they can reduce. Of course, that's a policy decision. So I think it has to come top down from this thing. I think by July there is something that is being mentioned that.
No, it's there. I know. So if you see any, if you know of any plastic bag manufacturer who's continuing to manufacture, you can report them to Pollution Control Board, Karnataka State Pollution Control Board. So most of the factories have been closed. Whatever is operating, like Narayan sir said, sometimes they have the excuse of exporting. So they're saying we are not doing it, we're not going to sell it here, but we are making it for shirts and packaging, which is going to go for export. So export has not been, the plastic that is used for packaging for export has not been banned. So some such leeway here and there people might take, but otherwise most of the manufacturing units have been closed by KSPCB.
Thank you, Smita. I think this is a great session. I think, and I think most of the questions and I think the doubts and the clarifications have been made. And I think we need to all take a pledge that we will be using less plastic in our life, at least to start with, and have our own, carry our own bag. I think you have those, do you have that poster, Smita, which you can share with us so all of us can take a pledge, maybe as carry your own bag, carry your own bottle, carry your own cup. I think I
don't have it ready to place, but yeah, we can say that, let us pledge that we will not have anything hot in plastic and we will not use any single-use disposables, at least as far as we can control.
Very true. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. I think it was a great session on a Friday evening, and thank you for joining. And I thank Smita for being with us today and also sharing her views and her experience. And I think we will make a better Bengaluru in the near future and the Garden City again. Thank you all, one and all. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you, Usha. And thank you everyone for interacting and for the patient listening.